Hi guys, this is Wayne from Goodman Photography. I've got a bit of an unboxing to do, and it's a bit of an unexpected one today. As you know, if you've watched my previous videos, I've ended up with the, in terms of 35mm range, I bought the 35mm f2.8 from Sony. That's the FE lens, a standard Sony, native lens basically. It's a small, light, weatherproof lens, pretty good quality from what I've seen, but do you know, like, I don't know what it is. I've been sort of it just seems to, for me, lack a bit of character. People go on about the magic looks and things like that of Zeiss and Leica and companies like that. I'm not going to get into all that, but you know, it's definite that there is sometimes a character thing going on with the lens, the way it renders things, the way the colours come out, you know, just, you know, I mean, you could put sort of a 50mm lens next to a 35mm, everything else on paper looks the same, but sometimes the blues look different blue, and the, you know, you just different, you get different colours, warmer casts, cooler casts, that type of thing, as you'll know, I'm sure. So, I don't know if it's just me, but I've not totally gelled with the f2.8 at this point. So I was looking around for options for the 35mm on the A7R II because I'm new to the format. I've come from other brands where the 35mm options have been, you know, much more dynamic. There's been lots to choose from, and you know, there is another 35mm from Sony, of course, as the f1.4. Which is apparently an amazing lens, but it's also absolutely huge. So I was having a look into it, and I decided that I'd see sort of what's around from other companies, including Carl Zeiss. So you get I mean, this lens that's on here on the A7R II, that is a Zeiss lens, but it's not an actual Carl Zeiss, you know, lens. It's a Zeiss for Sony lens. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an amazing lens still, but I wanted to see what was around from other companies. So, well, not other companies, but even from other parts of the company. So, this is the first time I'm going to see it. We have the Loxia from Zeiss. Okay, so here we go. So it's the actual Carl Zeiss Loxia f2 35mm for E mount, which is the A7R II and the A7s. So we'll slide that out. It looks like it comes out this way. Yep. Okay, so we'll dump that over there. And yeah, very nice presentation so far. So we've got the lens hood there on the left, and we've got the actual lens itself here. Got some documentation, things like that, but right, so let's pull this out. So first impressions, wow, that's heavy. Not heavy, but compared to the other one, my gosh, that's like, yeah, that's got some weight in it. Doesn't feel massively different between the lens on the camera with that one and the lens. So yeah, definitely a heavy lens, I can tell you that straight away. I've heard lots about this. Yeah, it's very nice actually. The reviews I've seen so far, they've talked about the sort of manual focus ring being very well damped, because this is actually a manual focus lens. There's no autofocus capability whatsoever. If you're an autofocus person, you won't like this lens at all. I have noticed there that as you focus it, can you see the top here? If I do that, you'll see actually protrudes from the body as you focus the lens. So it's not, you know, it's not one of these that you focus and everything stays the same length. But that's fine. I'm fine with that. This lens goes down to a minimum of 30 centimeters, I believe, and I think it's the same on the FE 2.8. So exactly the same sort of range if you want to get up close to anything. Let's pop off the hood here. Now the only disappointment for me was with this lens that on the 35mm 2.8 we've got a filter thread that is 49mm. On the 55mm f1.8 from Sony it's the same, and it's also the same on the Sony 28mm lens. It's a fantastic filter thread size because I've got 49mm filters. This lens unfortunately is a 52mm thread type. Let's just see if I can focus that on there. Hopefully you can see that. So just at the bottom you can see like a little sort of circle with a line through it, and then 52, that's the size of the filters on this lens. So it means that any filters I've got for the other lenses won't obviously fit. You can get step up adapters, but you can't get step down adapters because then you just get vignetting anyway, I'm sure. So that's something I've had to take into account, that my filters will either have to be sold or become ornaments. But apart from that, I sort of thought, well, I can't let that stop me from buying a lens that hopefully just gives me the look that I want and the colours that I want, you know, just to achieve that bit of extra image quality that suits me personally. It's a very subjective thing, obviously, image quality. Some people like a soft image, some people like a sharp image. I believe this is a very sharp lens. It's got various things. It's got a clickable aperture here, so I'm just going to try and focus that and see if you can hear it. Sorry, the lighting is terrible in here today, so but if we just do this, so you can hear the click there as you would expect. But then I believe that if we take the back off here, now there's a little, yeah, just here, just down here with a dot next to it, there's a little screw, and you get, I think it's a 1.5mm screw. So if you've got like a set of watch screwdrivers or that sort of thing, you'll be able to use that. But you do get a little tool somewhere in the box, apparently. I've not obviously looked at that yet. I'm just going to pop that down there for now so I don't make you all dizzy. So you get the 1.5mm screwdriver in there, and you basically, if you turn that, I think something like 90 degrees, it basically turns the clicks off. So if you're a video person, you've now got a lens with a very long sort of focus throw for, you know, sort of focusing, and you've got no clickable aperture then. So if you do want to change apertures during a video, you know, you've got that option as well. So you know, it seems like a very versatile sort of lens. Very heavy. That's my first impressions. Now let's have a look at this. So this is the lens hood. It's metal, I think it's metal. If it's not metal, it's very good quality plastic. I think this is metal. So some people have complained about the logo on the side of it. You know, I've heard in videos and stuff, but you know, whatever suits you. If we pop it on there, so it just protrudes ever so slightly. Yeah, I mean that looks really nice actually. It's not massive by any means. I'll just do a bit of a comparison to the FE 35mm. So let's just make sure my camera is turned off. Yeah, it is. And if we just wipe that off, I'll just put that down that way so hopefully don't get too much dust in there. Let's take all the extras off this lens. Let's take the back off this lens. And so this has the lens hood on the FE 35 right now. Just put that gently down there, and let's take that. So in terms of size, what about an extra third on the length there, which is great because although this is only, in inverted commas, an f2, the 35 1.4 from Sony is so much bigger, that I I want the lens, but I don't want the size of it. I bought an A7 series camera because I want to keep it as small as possible. So therefore, what is the point in going for a massive lens if that's what I want? You know, you might be fine with that. Save a bit of size on the body, go for a big lens, and that still saves you overall size over a DSLR. So I totally get it. But for me, I just want to keep it as small as possible for when I'm walking around. So this gives me all the options. The other great thing is it's supposedly very well weather sealed. First of all, you have got some electronics in there because it's not a dumb lens. It does tell the camera your apertures and things like that, so it does communicate with the camera. It's got I'm guessing the contacts, yeah, so we have sort of a line of contacts there for use with the Sony cameras. It will talk to it, just like the FE 2.8. So therefore, great, you know, it will do that. But the electronics are very minimal. That's really all it does, because you've got, I believe, an actual proper manual focus ring. This does manual focus, this f2.8 from Sony. It does manual focus, of course it does. But what it does is, compared to the other one, it's just, if there was ever a feeling of digital versus analog, that's it. It moves, it's nice and smooth, but it has no real resistance. And also in use, in reality, when you use that, it's just it's hard to get accurate focus. You know, you don't exactly feel where the focus is. It's a hard thing to explain, and it probably sounds so pretentious, but actually, you know, it does make a difference, because that's why this lens is manual focus. It's designed for it, and there's a difference. You know, a Ferrari is designed for going fast, and you know, another fast car might go fast but might not do it so well. So really like it so far. Actually, I'm going to take the back off now. Just pop that over there, and so we have a blue dot on this lens, and you can see here as well, I hope you can see, that there is, let's just try and get that to focus, iPhones, hey. We have a little blue seal around there, and that's the weatherproof seal. Let's put that onto the camera, just gently. Oh, yeah, fits absolutely snug as anything. You can see it just ever so slightly compresses that ring, so you know that it's going to help with the water resistance, the weather resistance. I certainly don't recommend going swimming with your A7Rii with this lens, but I'd be a bit more confident in the rain. I've already done another review where I did have my camera out in the rain with the FE 2.8, and it was, you know, I mean, for me it was fine. I'm sure you've heard horror stories, but I think as long as you sort of, I don't know, a bit sensible with it, and you don't go into a monsoon, I'm sure then, you know, you're looking at sort of good, you know, good weather resistance. So what I'm going to do is, obviously we've got no samples at the minute because I've only just unboxed the lens. I'm going to try and get some samples as quickly as I can for you all. Try and compare it to the 2.8 and see what differences we're getting. And yeah, and hopefully this is the lens that will work really well for me on an upcoming trip as my sort of travel lens. You know, f2 we've got instead of f2.8. I always like a wider aperture, even if I don't use it. It's such a nice thing to have, isn't it? The wider the better, usually, as long as it's a good lens. And I'm just hoping for a sort of a bit of a more characterful look, better colours, better contrast. Not saying that the 2.8 is a bad lens, it's not at all, but I'm just hoping that the extra money of this Loxia from Zeiss just gives me what I'm looking for. So I'll keep you updated. I'll get some image samples today if I can. It is actually raining a lot today, so I'm not sure particularly what I'd be able to get, but at least I could maybe try and test the weather resistance. So it's worth a go, I suppose, isn't it? So I'll see what I can do for you all. In the meantime, if you keep subscribing, keep commenting, ask me any questions you want, you know, regarding photography, the cameras, the lenses. And, you know, I really appreciate all your support, and thank you very much.